By the placement of stones, its makers could calculate the time remaining before the summer thaw. The very lack of a settlement area breaks the tie to Mystery Hill. The long central lane at Mystery Hill is reminiscent of some walled-in streets of ancient Europe. And where does the lane end? At a large central structure Professor Holzer has reason to believe was a temple. Again, a slender thread which may link Mystery Hill to the great cities of ancient Europe. Might the strange visitors to Mystery Hill have crossed an ocean? We have evidence that Norsemen like Leif Erikson made epic voyages in the 10th century. Erikson was blown off course while making a passage to Greenland. The landfall he reported making is thought to have been Newfoundland. He likely touched the New World, but all evidence is that he had neither the charter nor the will to begin a colony. "500 years later, the Spaniards and the Portuguese would supplant the Norsemen as explorers of the sea. A leading navigator of the day was Christopher Columbus, who convinced the Spanish throne he could sail west to India. These voyages were overtures to the coming of European colonization of the Americas in the 17th century. It is certain, however, that there were ships capable of making ocean crossings long before the time of Columbus or Leif Erikson. Did the strange visitors who built Mystery Hill arrive by ship from the east? And is this curious design on stone the random sign of a newcomer? Or is it the hull of a forgotten ship that turned its bow into the unknown centuries ago? At a laboratory in Cambridge, Massachusetts, scientists burn a bit of charcoal found at Mystery Hill. Charcoal is largely carbon, and carbon contains minute quantities of radioactive material. This material decays at a constant rate. Knowing that, scientists can fix the age of the sample. They determined that it is at least 3,000 years old. The charcoal was found wedged between slabs of rock at Mystery Hill. The fire that produced it was lighted 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. And the open question remains, but by whom? Mystery Hill, New Hampshire could not have been more aptly named. Its origins have puzzled men for centuries. Curator Osborne Stone is sure of one thing, however. The architects of Mystery Hill had an impressive knowledge of astronomy.
We're standing in the astronomical center of the site, and if you want a view to the true north, you'll see a large standing monolith out here. It's composed of 5 stones, one missing that dates the site. Over to the east of us, we have a strange stone that's been on the wall for centuries that marks a summer sunrise. Now, if we look around to the southwest, we see the winter sunset stone. That was the first one that was found and kicked off this investigation.
Stones that may have helped the strange visitors plot the seasons. They are substantial clues to the identity of the original Mystery Hill architects.
The cultivation of expression.
On the Salisbury Plain in England broods a more familiar example of the kind of timekeeping function monoliths appear to have had for the ancients. To this day, some who call themselves Druids gather at Stonehenge to mark the longest day of the year. It is believed that long centuries ago, Druids offered up human sacrifice as part of their seasonal rituals. Sacrifice may have been part of the firmament at Mystery Hill also.
That's the viewing position for the sacrificial table that I was telling you about. You were asking me about the oracle tube.
That's right.
It comes out from the oracle chamber underneath.
Stone points out a polished slab of rock. The grooves might once have run with blood to appease a god whose voice rumbled up from the earth.
We used to give the oracle all the time through there, but
It appears that the builders of Mystery Hill imported their gods as well as their science. Some had theorized that Mystery Hill was the work of New Hampshire colonialists.
this is when we come to the entrance of the oracle chamber. And I think we have pictures that date back.
What Stone calls the sacrificial table and the recently excavated oracle chamber are unlikely relics of English colonialism. The chamber was discovered in the darkened recesses of Mystery Hill. Professor Holzer has seen similar sacred grottos before, complete with speaking tubes to humble the faithful. The so-called oracle chamber had been the work of another society, a civilization where obedience to the Delphic voices was immediate and complete. The chamber was found not in America, but amid the ancient ruins of the Mediterranean. Holzer will need more than these similarities if he is to advance his theory about Mystery Hill's strange visitors. Harvard archaeologist Barry Fell has spent years studying inscriptions and drawings from Mystery Hill and other unexplained ruins in North America.
Now, what about some of these inscriptions that have been found? What do they indicate in terms of people's presences in this area? Where are they from?
Well, they really tell us that America in ancient times was a melting pot of the races of Europe just as it is today. Same peoples from all parts of Europe and North Africa living together, even speaking their own languages side by side and writing their own inscriptions and their own writing systems.
What people came here?
Basques from Portugal, Celts from Spain and Portugal, Phoenicians from Carthage and probably from Phoenicia itself in Syria, and ancient Egyptian traders too.
Why do you think these people came here?
Probably initially by accident. Fishermen, you know, the Portuguese people are wonderful deep-sea fishermen, and inevitably a fisherman is going to be blown away from land in a storm. A fisherman knows how to look after himself when he's blown out to sea, and in modern times very long voyages have been performed that way. So initially accidentally, later deliberately.
Portugal's dorymen still ply the Atlantic in the kind of small but sturdy craft they've apparently used for centuries. That the ancestors of these fishermen were skilled sailors, few could dispute. Holzer doubts that a fisherman blown off course would attempt to build a city. He and Fell pursue another line.
In other words, there's no doubt in your mind that ancient people from the Mediterranean area came and settled in New England, among other places.
No doubt at all. They probably settled all that part of North America that could be reached by ship. That is to say, the whole Mississippi Valley and the branches of the Mississippi.